The Supreme Court has pulled up Customs and GST officials for misusing arrest powers. The Apex Court called for errant officers to be punished and ruled that customs officers do not enjoy the same powers as police officers. Ashmit is standing by with more details. Ashmit, give us a background to this case and the implications of what the court has said.
Well, let's bear in mind that there were a batch of applications adding up to over 279, which had raised multiple questions with respect to powers available to Customs and GST officials. One of the concerns that had been raised is that the arrest power of these Customs and GST officials is being misused by them to coerce the companies into paying the amounts in question, and this is something that was brought to the attention of the court. The court, by way of today's judgment, very clearly holds that there is some merit in the argument that has been given, that there is a potential abuse of this arrest provision for coercing money out of these companies, saying that this is not something that is conscionable, not something that the court will allow, is not something that is consistent with the Indian law. Going on to say that as far as the errant officers are concerned, there needs to be some accountability in terms of departmental inquiries, and with respect to the companies, they will always have the remedy, the liberty of moving the court for seeking some relief. But the court didn't stop there. It went a step further and said that the customs officials cannot be deemed to be police officers, and therefore they do not have the same power. The Supreme Court also saying that the remedies, the reliefs, the protections that are granted, the safeguards that are granted for an accused under the CRPC, which is now the BNSS, will also be available to parties facing prosecution under the GST and Customs Act. And finally, on the issue of anticipatory bail, here again the Supreme Court said even in cases where an FIR has not been registered, parties in question can seek an anticipatory bail. So a number of reliefs. We're of course awaiting the final copy of the order.
All right, Ashmit, many thanks for joining us. We told you first.